Make sure you check the descriptions for any links to important articles I may post, or places where you can find good articles. Think for yourself and come to your own conclusions. But one thing that I really like is Trump's campaign style rallies that he's holding. I think he holds them technically as a campaign because he did file for re-election immediately after running for office, or after being sworn in. One thing that I like about the rallies is he just goes out there and kind of just riffs for about an hour and just kind of works the crowd. It's more of just whatever he wants to get out in a personal a speech that he normally likes to give. That's his style of talking. Sometimes he puts his foot in his mouth because that's what Trump does. But a lot of the times, I think he reminds people a lot of why they voted for him, and that he is a funny guy, and he just says funny things when he's out there, and he can kind of just riff and go with the flow. And it gives him the opportunity to talk about the different things that he's been working on, the different accomplishments that he's had, and also it allows him to kind of like lob bombs, and I guess you should be careful with that language. Allows him to metaphorically lob bombs on the opposing, the Democrats. It really gives him the chance to rally his base, get everybody excited. Normally, he'll do this before an election. He'll do it in the person state. That's what we're seeing now with midterms coming up. I think he's really a duck in water when it comes to giving these speeches. I would say it's within his wheelhouse that this is what he does. He's a performer. It's more like a concert than it is a normal stump speech in which somebody's going up to the podium and saying, you got this and we're going to get it back and this is the problem and we're doing it. It's not as structured. It's more off the cuff. But I see it as something that in very few cases is a negative, but most of the time is a big, big positive for Trump and Republicans. Now, it's not a fail-safe, perfect way of him moving people's opinions and directions, but a lot of the times I think it moves the news cycle, which is something that Donald Trump likes to be in control, and he likes to control the news cycle, likes to be in charge of what people are talking about. And even from the get-go, that's what his kind of style of politics has been all about, is let me control the news cycle. If there was any style of politics, it would be that. It would be a rough and tumble, let me control the news cycle style of politics. And he did that since his first speech, in which he talked about building the wall. In which case, I mean, that was all anyone had to talk about, and him being a joke as a candidate. But between those two, it was all Trump, 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 Trump. Whereas when he gives a speech and he says, "Look at how great this is," or "Look at how great that is," let's say the economy. He says, "Look at how great the economy is." People will focus on probably something that they could make a joke out of. But in part of talking about the joke, they talk about how good the economy is or whatever he was saying in that specific instance. And it starts to show some of, I don't know whether it's intelligence or it's innate to President Trump that he can move the news cycle in that way. But his campaign style rallies are really something that's a positive for him as a political candidate. I think people forget, some of the good things he has done, amidst all the negative news. Because I can't recall the last time, in a left-leaning news organization would show something positive that Trump was doing. It seems far and few between that different news organizations show positive things that Trump does. But one thing that they always have to show is when a lot of them will live stream when he gives these speeches. So it gives people an opportunity to kind of hear what Trump is saying just directly from Trump. And it gives him an opportunity to get out. I think he likes campaigning and doing this more than anything. Maybe not as much as tweeting, maybe tweeting and then out campaigning. But Trump likes to brawl, I think, and likes to get involved in these different political speeches, and just the rough and tumble play of politics.